4 centuries after the first slaves were taken from the shores of Africa in the 15th centuries, advancement in DNA technology has made it possible for many descendants of slaves to trace their ancestral roots. 8 African Americans, 7 whose DNA matched the Mende people of Sierra Leone, embarked on a journey to find out about their roots, to reconnect and to pay homage to the land of their ancestors.
This is the inaugural visit for 7 Sierra Leoneans or African Americans that have traced their ancestry back to Sierra Leone. And in that plane, the Brussels airline, they are there waiting to come to the homeland for the first time. Their forefathers were taken over 400 years ago as slaves, but they are coming back as free citizens.
Couché at the body fine.
Now I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm very happy to be here. This is going to be a great experience. I'm ready for everything that Sierra Leone has to offer. I love it. I've been studying just a little bit about it. I learned since my DNA results came back, I learned that I'm Mende.
Okay.
So I'm just very happy. I want to learn everything.
I think this has been a long time coming. Those of us that are just finding out to be able to confirm exactly where we come from specifically are now being able to take part of it and reconnect.
No matter how far you go, no matter how far you come to, we not so strange and I so. And the sound
immigration, and now you can see the welcome that have been set up for them. There's a whole dancing troupe, and they've been dancing, they've been celebrating, they've been welcomed in Sierra Leonean style. So I'm sure there is more to come. I want to come sit here.
Today you are in Sierra Leone, home that your great fathers cherished. And we are taken away to go and work for the white man's kingdom. And you are back at home.
I came all the way from the UK, because this is historical. It is very historical for Sierra Leone. And I'm so glad to receive you and welcome you to Sierra Leone.
We were traveling all day and excited, and we've been planning this for a while now, ever since we found out our ancestry lied here in Sierra Leone. So this is real special to us. We just want to say thank you so much for having us.
Their second day in Freetown saw them visiting the Ministry of Internal Affairs and Immigration Department to complete all necessary paperwork that will enable them to obtain Sierra Leonean passports and become fully fledged Sierra Leonean citizens, which as a goodwill gesture was offered to them by the Sierra Leone government.
And here I am having, is it Arturo?
Yes.
Arturo Monia White.
Another significant part of the day was their visit to the iconic country tree, which saw them at the very spot the first free slaves who returned to Freetown celebrated their freedom.
I will also honor us.
This is day 2 of the visit of the homecoming visit, and this morning we've been to the immigration where they had their biometrics, their fingerprints, so that they can have a biometric passport, and then they can be declared as Sierra Leoneans, which they are through, which has been verified through the DNA. And we've had lunch afterwards. We went to a restaurant and had lunch, and now we are the famous country tree, which sits right in the middle of Freetown. And they've poured libation, and now you can see they are praying to their ancestors for a safe trip and a safe tour.
Most assuredly, there was slavery in Sierra Leone, even before the coming of the Europeans, their own type of slavery. But the type of slavery that was existing in Sierra Leone, it was not as degrading as the one brought by the Europeans. Portuguese of Pedro da Silva named Sierra Leone for 2 main reasons. One of the reasons is that the time he came, the shape of the land that he saw up to date is just like the shape of the lion. Then the second reason is that the time he came was during the rainy season. So the sound of the thunder that the Portuguese was hearing, he thought it's a lion roaring. Waigure was the man who led the Timi uprising against the British in 1898. As a young man, he was sent by his father to a place called Bendebu in the northern part of this country, going to go and train as a warrior. And there he earned a nickname called Keblai. Keblai is a word derived from one of the ethnic groups in Sierra Leone, which is the Timi. It means one who never tires of fighting war, or one whose basket is never full of enemies.
Shows the occupied food, the animals, these are all items that are embedded with traditional magic in order to help the wearers to see to the future and it's presently in existence, especially for the north part of Sierra Leone. We have Camadromas during the Civil War in Sierra Leone.
So far, excellent trip, excellent tour guide. The thing that has been the most impactful, I would say, is the libation that we made at Cotton Tree in Freetown. And our guide had reminded us that the name of Freetown was inspired by the slaves that had landed there, and said that their slavery became absolved and they were finally free. And so I feel it's an allegory for all of us here on the trip and returning home that, you know, different forms of slavery, I think, have continued in ways that we don't really realize in our culture and in other systems in the diaspora. So being able to come here and have our feet hit the actual ground and the actual point where freedom was a literal dropping of chains, I think is a inspiration for us to drop another set of chains that is alive and well in the diaspora for a lot of us, and hopefully this tour will inspire us to remove those chains as well.
You've heard from Kenneth, and he's seen the diversity of our culture, of the Sierra Leone culture, and from what they've seen so far, and they've seen the display of different heroes of Sierra Leone, and continue to displays where they've seen all these artifacts that are very unique to Sierra Leone and to Sierra Leone culture. That tells you how rich Sierra Leone is and how we should embrace our culture and appreciate them, and to preserve them also, that they should be preserved, so that people can come, especially those in the diaspora that have never come to Sierra Leone, they can come and see what Sierra Leone culture is about.
On the way to Bow, the delegation visited the National Railway Museum in Kleintown. They were shown a collection of vintage colonial railways, as Sierra Leone railways closed in 1974. The museum holds a rich collection of locomotives and often welcome children that come to learn about the history of Sierra Leone railways. The museum is supported by Friends of Sierra Leone National Railway Museum, an organization that is based in the UK. They were all very excited to be going to Bow, the second capital of Sierra Leone, and the biggest city of the tribe their DNA was matched to. Looking forward to participate in the symbolic, cultural and traditional activities. Arriving late in the evening, they were again welcomed by vibrant cultural dances.
I am so excited. I can't wait to meet the Paramount Chief.
Later on that evening, they visited the Valentino nightclub, where Otoro was serenaded with the happy birthday song, as it was his birthday. The delegation were up very early the next morning, visiting the Paramount Chief and other chiefs of Bow. They participated in the cooking of traditional dishes. We are taught how to do a mended dance, and we are led to the town hall to take part in the most significant aspects of their trip, their initiation into the Mende culture and naming ceremony.
Oh, yeah.
You're there. You have started being there. You started being there.